Shalom and welcome. We are the Hebrew Sisters. And as we have been throughout this month, one more time we're going to ask some pretty big questions. This is a good month. We're doing it in a very Jewish way. We're asking questions. And hopefully, when we ask those questions, it causes you to ask some questions. You know, in Scripture, that was a big deal. Yeshua was always answering a question with a question. He always wanted us to seek because he knows that when we seek, we find. And so today, the question that we're asking and going to attempt to shed some light on, and hoping it leaves you with more questions, is this. What is the difference between astrology and astronomy?
That is a big question and has a lot of avenues and rivers that we could travel down. However, first let me just say this. If you are enjoying these teachings, please give us the thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. You can see some links below that you can click on and find out some further information and where we put a lot of our teachings on those different platforms. And we would so enjoy having all of you connect with us because we want to connect with you. So let's get back to this topic. And one of the reasons we're doing this topic right now is because Pesach, Passover, is right around the corner.
Yes, it is.
And one of the instructions, or the instructions that Adonai gave to Moshe for the children of Israel, not only for that particular generation, but for the generations that were going to follow, is that they would look up into the heavens and begin to read the stars to know when they were to celebrate particular feasts. And this is how the children of Israel would follow the pathways of Adonai.
That's right.
And so we have been taught something a little different in our church systems. We've been taught that these things are wrong, or we've been given the...
Stay away from the stars.
That's it.
Stay away from that stuff.
Exactly.
But Yahweh created them. They're there for us to see. At night we see the stars. And during the day, sometimes we can see the outline of the moon. For sure, we can see the sun. And anyway.
Exactly.
They're there for us.
Yes. So here's the difference. Astrology is this. Astrology is the study of the movement and positions of the planets in the heavens and the effects that they have on us here on Earth. And you can look in many books and find many interpretations about this. And those interpretations are based on from people who are not necessarily believers and have engaged with the stars in the heavens through a different veil than what we travel through as believers. Astronomy is this. Astronomy is the scientific study of the planets and the universe as a whole, and they bring facts to the table whenever they are presenting the astronomy. Whenever we send a man to the moon, it's based on astronomy, not on astrology.
Oh, that's the truth.
Okay? And it's so, I'm trying to help us understand there is a huge difference. One is the interpretation on how those planets affect us from a man or a person, an individual, through their lens. And yet astronomy is the scientific facts. And so we base it on formulas. We base it on math. We base it on the positions.
Physics.
Exactly, the physics of the universe. Now, there's some interesting scriptures, and I want to take you there, especially for those who think along those lines of where is it at in the scriptures. We can go back to the very, very beginning. Genesis chapter 1, when creation was taking place, And listen to what Adonai said on the fourth day. Genesis 1:14, he said, "Then God said, let lights in the expanse or the firmament of the sky have a reason and a purpose for being there. Let them be for separating the day from the night." Now here's the other part that sometimes we don't understand and read. "They will be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." So that word for signs is the word ot, meaning a marker. Here is, a flag. You raise a flag, and that's the finish line. It's a marker. It's a position. It's a place. For seasons, the word is moed, or moedim, meaning Leviticus 23, the feasts of Adonai. We've talked about that. That's the word for seasons in Genesis chapter 1. And then for days, which is the word yom, what we know is this 24-hour period. And then the word years is shana. And it can mean shanim, okay, for years, exactly. Thank you for that. But then we can also understand it's a period of 1 year or an extended period of many years, meaning an age. And so he put the stars in the heavens to give us specific understanding at specific times on specific days in specific eras and ages.
And also, as we were saying, he gives us these messages in the stars and in the signs there for specific years. And so one of the things that happens is a lot of times is in the first of the year, people have an understanding of what this year is going to look like. And they get that by observing the movement of the planets and the stars and all these other signs that Yahweh gave to us. All of us believe in this because all of us wake up and say, "Oh, good morning," and "good night." Mm-hmm. And we know that because of only one issue, and that's the signs in the heavens of the sun and the moon and the stars.
Even Adonai, when he is speaking to Job, mentions these constellations that he has put into the heavens. So listen to this scripture in Job 38:31, when Job is having a conversation with Adonai. And Adonai says to Job, "Can you bind the chains of Pleiades or loosen the belt of Orion?" These are constellations that we know that are in the heavens, and Adonai is mentioning them to Job. And then he says, "Do you bring out," the word in Hebrew is mazarot, or do you bring out the constellations in their season? And so even Adonai is mentioning these. And so I want to take that word mazarot, and in the Hebrew, what that word means, of course, is it is about the constellation, but what it means is a circle of 12. A circle of 12 what? Well, a circle of 12 constellations that are in the heaven, and that the sun comes through one constellation each month.
Oh boy. Now, remember what I said? When we answer a question, it creates more questions.
Exactly. And so we can see there is a biblical perspective regarding the Mazarot. And if you will think of it like this, that if you even break it down further, what Mazarot breaks down into is it's a garland, meaning this crown, this garland that is strung across the heaven is given to us each month. And it indicates that there's something very specific for this month for us to engage in, perhaps is happening, depending on what month.
Yes. One of the things that, when I think about the heavens and the stars and the groupings of the Mazarot, which the garlands, the constellations. When we're in Africa, we go on safari sometimes after doing some work in Africa in the summers.
Mm-hmm.
One thing it's my top priority when the sun sets and the stars come out in that great African expanse of a sky. And it's our summer season. And well, there's usually two, but we always want to see the Southern Cross.
Always.
And it was a sailor's help in the days before we had the sophisticated equipment. The stars, the bright stars, the planets, all those things were helps, navigation tools used by the ancients. But I love to see that Southern Cross in the sky through the star system. The Little Dipper, the Big Dipper, and all of those symbols in the heavens, they're all given to us by Yahweh. And they're given not only as a technical statement, but as a simple, loving statement. I love the Psalm 121. It says, the moon will not strike you by night, or the sun by day. In other words, these planets, these stars, these constellations are gifts to you and I. And there's so much more to be said about these constellations and these signs in the heavens and in the skies.
Yeah. We talk about these other things that you can find in Scripture that are mentioned in our different platforms that we teach on and talk about these things. So we would love for you to find out some more biblical centered information about the Mazarot that is there to give us the signs and the seasons, the days and the ages. And from these, the Bible is very clear about the age and the day that we live in. So much more information available. We love being with you. Thank you for spending a little time with us each week. Again, we look forward to seeing you the next time that we're together. And we are
the Hebrew Sisters.